This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO and Director of Green Shift Commodities, Mr. Trumbull Fisher. Trumbull, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you very much, and excited to be here to chat with you.
Look, it's great to have you on. This is a new story for our audience, and let me tell you what I like about the story. One, your market cap is absolutely tiny. Two, you are in the package of metals, battery metals, and the clean energy space. Um, Putting together a portfolio that one is diversified, not just across jurisdiction, but also across commodity type. And I happen to really like your commodity mix. So I want to get into all of that, including the exciting acquisition of your entry into a big lithium project in Argentina, a country that has become, just a hotbed to attract capital for a bunch of commodities. But before I get into all of that, I'd love to hear a little bit about your background.
Great, thank you. So I'm primarily a capital markets professional. I've spent the better part of approximately 17 years in capital markets. I've been at institutional investment banks. I've led their sales and trading departments, and I've raised a significant amount of money for mostly resource companies. So after doing that, I jumped over and co-founded a hedge fund. It was an offshore hedge fund based in the Cayman Islands, and we invested in long, short North American equities. While doing that and having a lot of fun and success, we were approached to be acquired. So we sold the fund to another hedge fund in Toronto, where I am now, and I stayed on for the better part of a year before jumping and going more towards the issuer side. So since getting out of the side where I was staring at six screens and trading stocks all over the place, I have been involved in a number of different issuers, mostly in the resource space, and anywhere from a chairman role to an advisor to president to CEO, which these various roles have led me to the Green Shift Commodities, which I'm tremendously excited about and really excited about what 2023 is going to bring us.
Let's talk about that excitement. Let's talk about why you're excited, and then let's definitely talk about 2023. But before we go on, can you share with our audience just how tiny your market cap is right now?
Yeah, the market cap right now is just under $10 million. So it's approximately $8 million.
Love it. Love it. Let's talk about why you plan on making that market cap, hopefully many multiples of today's valuation. Obviously, you have the capital markets experience. You know how to advance projects from a shareholder and a capital markets perspective, which is really important to me. Oftentimes, everybody in the resource space knows we need more qualified geologists. We know we need geologists that have, experience and success. But oftentimes, if it's just the geologist that's running a company and doesn't have the correct capital markets experience or experience on the board, that can turn into a science project for us shareholders, right? And so talk to me about 2023 and how you plan on unlocking some value here.
Yeah, well, look, I think that there's a lot of different elements that go into having success and having a sustained success with a company. There's not one individual and there's not one thing about a company that can make it. It might be able to make it in the short term, but not a long term. So here are a couple of reasons why I think we have all of the ingredients to make a big success. So first of all, diversification. Everybody's heard that word before, especially when it comes to investing. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. So over the back half of 2022, we started to diversify this company. We have gone from being U308 to rebranding the company into Green Shift Commodities. We have kept our rather large uranium asset in Colombia that consists of 22 million pounds indicated and inferred of uranium at 0.11%. And we've gone and signed a deal to acquire a massive land package in Argentina that is 500,000 hectares. To put that in perspective, When I say massive, that's 6 times the size of Manhattan. So we've diversified the portfolio of the company with the closing of that acquisition, which we're expecting to happen this month. But we've also added to a team consisting of various geologists, lawyers, capital markets professionals, and different people on the ground in South America that can really help with this story. So again, we have got all the ingredients we believe to make it a success, and we're going to be putting some money to work down there and going for it.
Let's talk about putting that money to work. You recently closed a financing to top off the treasury. I couldn't help but notice that the last time I checked, you also owned just over 1 million shares of Consolidated Uranium and I think like a couple 100,000 of Labrador Uranium. And I couldn't help but notice as well that one of your top shareholders is Mega Uranium, which held, I think, like a 10% stake, if I'm not mistaken. Is all of that still accurate?
Yeah, it is. And that's sort of the shocking part a little bit about our market cap, because we're really going for this all-encompassing green energy battery commodity company. And when you start to add up all the things that we have within our company, those 1.1 million shares of Consolidated Uranium, I believe as of today, trading at about $1.85 per share. The couple 100,000 shares of LUR, which I believe is about 40 cents a share. And then the capital raise that we've done, it all totals up to about $5 million in working capital. Plus adding in the 22 million pounds of uranium, again at 0.11%, which is fairly significant. And then looking at this diversification we're doing of adding this massive land package that already has sampling of 2% lithium, we sort of go, oh my gosh, there's a lot of value that can be taken out of this, and should be a good year for the company and for shareholders.
What comes next for 2023? My biggest success of 2022, and frankly, one of my biggest successes in my speculating career, is a company called Patriot Battery Metals, which of course is on to what everybody now recognizes as one of the better discoveries here in the past decade or so. Huge lithium discovery in Quebec. And, they were able to identify early on some lithium spodumene bearing pegmatites that have proved very, very fruitful. I say all that to say that anytime that I see a large land package with scale, with lithium as a targeted commodity, and then there's some historical work that's been done, and there's some pegmatites that have already been discovered outcropping, it obviously gets my attention a little bit, because I've come to know a little bit through Patriot and a couple of other holdings how quickly you can go from a company that was 16 cents in the case of Patriot when I first started writing checks, and recently hit a high of 10.50 before a small pullback here. Tell me about the pegmatite occurrences. These are lithium pegmatite occurrences, correct?
Yeah, correct. And you know what a tremendous story that Patriot has been. Unbelievably that how fast they did it. But I think they put a little bit of the roadmap of and showed investors how other people can do it as well, which is exciting. Look, there's been work that's been done on the Argentinian assets in the previous years. We are excited to close this acquisition. I'm expecting that we're going to close it this month, January 2023. And then we're going to have our team, who is already on the ground, immediately going down there and looking at the trenches that have already happened, the samples. We know where they were taken, and we want to do more trenching and more sampling, and looking at all the different occurrences and getting that news out.
I notice that you have a pretty clear roadmap for 2023. For those not familiar, that people that haven't taken the time yet to get familiar with the story, can you just kind of map out the next several quarters for potential shareholders here?
Yeah, I think I think as an investor, shareholder, you should expect to see the closing of the Argentinian asset. I think you should probably expect to see a work program announced in Argentina, and then you should start to see perhaps some results of that work that is going to happen. I think the way that the results go is going to determine how it goes after that. I think also there's potential that comes with this team in Argentina is there is the potential for further acquisitions. I mean, now that we have the team on the ground, they are being shown things almost firsthand, which is quite appealing to us. So if the right opportunity strikes, there is a potential for more acquisitions in 2023.
It's funny you answered my next question that I was about to ask. I was just gonna mention to you, given your capital markets experience and given the team being on the field now, if you're looking at potentially bringing on other acquisitions that may be accretive or exciting on the exploration side, I think you answered that pretty clearly. Look, it's an exciting story. It's an early stage story. I love getting involved with things early on. A lot of work, obviously, to do over the next several quarters, but I'm looking forward to sharing those details with our audience as it develops. Anything to add to that?
No, I think that's generally the broad story, and you can see why we are very excited because of the underpinned value of what we already have. And with the diversification that we've put into this thing, and we'll be closing on, expected to close on in this month.
Trumbull, looking forward to having you back on. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.